Hello and welcome back to Vizura Recaps. Today, we'll speak about a drama thriller picture. Please enjoy your viewing. Ferdinand and Liza are a happy, well-off family that live in New York City's suburbs. They have an 8-year-old son named Sandro. Everything may have been okay, but on a rainy day, Liza defied her husband and went to work in the city. She needed to prepare for a major auction in Soho, so she found herself in windy New York. It was simply unrealistic to request a taxi there. After another gust of wind, the woman comes across a young man with a large stack of books. The impact forces both of them to collapse on the sidewalk. Liza is humiliated and tries to pick up the books that are scattered on the ground. She then asks the man to assist her in calling a taxi, but he also fails to do so. When the man notices a mark on the woman's fractured knee, he invites her to his home to heal the wound. Furthermore, it turns out that he lives in the same house. Looking at the passing taxis, the girl accepts her new friend's offer. Liza fixes the wounds in her apartment, but is quite uncomfortable. Later, she phones her son using the apartment owner's phone. In this way, she suggests that she has a family. This information does not frighten the boy, who introduces himself. She discovers that his name is Apollo Martel, and he is 27 years old. He makes a living by reselling rare books. When the woman is about to leave, Apollo offers her the book as a souvenir and even suggests she read an extract from page 15. Liza is moved by the lines in the book, but she decides it is time to leave and exits Apollo's apartment. At home, her kid discovers a wound on his mother's knee. He takes amusing photos with her and informs his father about the situation. Liza herself discloses to her husband that a lovely young man assisted her. Ferdinand playfully offers to send her hero a bottle of wine as a sign of appreciation. The next morning, she goes through the book she borrowed from Apollo and discovers that a business card with his phone number has slipped out. When she reaches the central station, she decides to phone him. She briefly changes her mind and hangs up, but eventually connects with Apollo. In response to her clumsy words of gratitude, Apollo promptly invites Liza to his home for coffee, which she accepts. At home, Apollo serves her coffee as promised and shows her a Braille-written book. While reading the book, he holds her hand. Liza is likewise drawn to the guy but decides to leave. She visits Ferdinand's job, greets his co-workers and their friend Bill, and gives her husband a jumper. She informs him that this time she would work at the auction alongside their friend Bob. That evening, Ferdinand senses his wife pondering about something, but he ignores it. The next day, Liza returns to Apollo's residence. Almost immediately, he asks her to dance and begins flirting again. Suddenly, the music stops and Apollo steps away for a moment. Liza thinks she could do something stupid and attempts to leave, but returns to collect her coat. At this moment, he practically pushes her down and takes her into his bedroom. On the train back home, the woman recalls what happened between her and Apollo. She starts to worry. Meanwhile, Ferdinand sees his friend Bob, and it turns out that Liza has not discussed any auctions with him. Liza and Apollo continue to meet on a regular basis, and one day he invites her to a cafe for lunch. There, he is pretty calm and even kisses Liza. Her husband's subordinate observes it. Ferdinand offers to join his wife in the toilet in the evening, but she declines. He starts to believe Liza is hiding something. In the morning, he discovers her new undergarments and high heels. Still hopeful that his concerns are unfounded, he asks his wife to lunch, but she declines, stating she needs to go to the salon for a beauty treatment. Ferdinand, left alone, phones one of the salon's staff, who confirms his worries. As Liza approaches Apollo's house, she meets some friends, who invite her to a local coffee shop. She phones her lover to inform him that she would be late, but Apollo appears at the coffee shop and they surreptitiously adjourn to the lavatory. Meanwhile, Ferdinand and Bill are in dispute at work. Following a heated disagreement, Ferdinand dismisses his pal from his job. Bill eventually encourages him to take better care of his wife. This is the final straw for the man, so he employs a private investigator to keep an eye on his wife. The man flies to Chicago for a day. That day, the detective captures photographs of Liza and her lover. The mother is so absorbed in her romance that she forgets to pick up her kid from school and is quite concerned about it later. When the investigator arrives, he tells Ferdinand about his wife's contacts with Apollo and provides him the place where the images are kept. Liza thinks she can't handle it anymore and goes to Apollo to end their relationship. On the street, she spots him with a little girl. They enter the library, and she follows them out of envy. She assaults the young people in the elevator. Liza and Apollo dispute, and the lady declares that their relationship is ended, but their argument is resolved with a new explosion of passion near their lover's apartment. Meanwhile, Ferdinand reaches Apollo's home, where they suddenly warm up. With Liza rushing out the doorway, the man enters the home and finally meets Apollo. He invites Ferdinand into the flat, makes him a drink, and patiently answers all of his inquiries. These responses cause him to experience increasing emotional distress. Ferdinand discovers a snow globe beside the nightstand, which he gave to his wife, who then gave it to her boyfriend. This eventually knocks the man off balance. He loses control of himself, grabs the snow globe, and strikes Apollo twice in the head with it. Ferdinand knows what he's done. He first intends to contact the police, but then chooses to conceal the crime's evidence. He covers Apollo's body on a carpet to transport it out of the residence. Suddenly, he hears his wife's voice on his answering machine. She informs her boyfriend, in tears, that she can no longer deceive her family and that their relationship is ended. Ferdinand deletes all of the texts and takes Apollo's body, not realizing his wife's phone number is on the table. The man loads the body into the trunk of his car and travels to the school play. When he arrives, he changes his clothes in the toilet, discards his filthy shirt, and proceeds to the auditorium, where Liza awaits him, giving him affection for the first time in a long time. Ferdinand waits until midnight before taking Apollo's body to the trash and burying it in a pile of garbage. Following that, he drives the automobile to the car wash. Since then, the guy has observed that his wife has begun to express warm sentiments for him again. But Ferdinand has nightmares. One day, when just Liza and her son were at home, the police arrived and informed them that Apollo's wife had reported him missing, and that they had discovered a piece of paper with Liza's phone number. The woman responds that she hardly knew Apollo and was planning to buy some books from him. However, her reaction to the news of his wife reveals her identity. Nonetheless, the cops leave, and the family's life temporarily returns to normal. A week later, however, the police return to inform that Apollo has been discovered dead. The investigators ask the lady whether she has ever been to Soho, where Apollo resided, and remind her of a traffic ticket she received there on the day she almost failed to pick up her kid from school. She explains that she was in a cafe with pals. When asked how she and Apollo met, she says it happened during a performance. Unexpectedly, her husband verifies this, stating that he was present with his wife. Ferdinand notices that the cops are pressing his wife and leads them outdoors. He leaves the woman alone to process her events. The next day, Liza picks up Ferdinand's coat from the dry cleaners and discovers photographs taken by the investigator in his pocket. After that, she finds her husband was aware of her romance with Apollo. In the evening, during a gathering with friends, she finds that the snow globe she gave Apollo has been returned. She learns from Ferdinand's expression that he has killed her beloved. Left alone, they begin to explain their connection. The man claims that initially, he intended to eliminate her. The couple lived peacefully for the following few days, but they were continuously waiting for the police to arrive at their residence. Liza discovers a secret section in the same snow globe. Ferdinand had posted a family photo with a love message a few years back. That same evening, she destroys the photographs taken by the detective. She imagines that the day she met Apollo, she took that free cab home. Her husband approaches her and says he wants to report everything to the police since they can't live with it any longer. Liza's long-awaited school auction is a success, and the evening culminates in a reception where she dances with her husband as if it were the final time. When they stop on the way home, Liza advises that the entire family change their identities and go to Mexico to start a new life. Ferdinand doesn't object and embraces his wife. Even after the signal changes to green, the automobile remains at the traffic light. After all, everything must come to an end here at the police station. That was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more material like this, and please press the like button to assist us. Also, if you want us to recap your favorite movie, leave a comment. Take care until the next time.